Where the hell? Let's start with Angel. Let's start with Angel because I haven't watched this yet, and I want to see it. I want to see it. Oh, here we go, right here. Angel's Law, an unstoppable force in motion, stays in motion, especially in the paint. Your team's about to learn physics the hard way. The team is 9-30. Oh, the sky is not.
The WNBA's most overhyped player is learning the hard way that talent and attitude don't always equal success. Angel Reese now finds herself stuck in basketball purgatory, stranded on Chicago Sky teams circling the drain even faster than her own plummeting field goal percentage.
We have Chicago Sky fans blaming Tyler Marsh for Angel Reese missing a free throw at the end of this game to keep the Chicago Sky within striking distance versus the Phoenix Mercury. She asked, do I miss this free throw or do I make it? The fans are saying that Tyler Marsh told her to miss this free throw. Tyler Marsh said the complete opposite. He threw her all the way under the bus. Let's stop playing games. He threw her all the way.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. Angel Reese's frustration has reached a boiling point, and sources close to the situation suggest she's actively exploring exit strategies from Chicago. The writing was on the wall when she cryptically posted about potential trades, saying, "We might not all be together next year. Teammates could leave or trades could happen." But the Real kicker came with a follow-up hint on social media. P.S. Making decisions for yourself is a liberating feeling. That's not the language of a player locked in for the long haul. That's the mindset of someone mentally checked out and already mapping their escape route.
Sykes put out an Instagram post, and she ended it with like, "P.S." It was something along the lines of like, "P.S. taking things into your own hands." So basically, she made it clear she wanted out, like that she either asked for a trade or demanded a trade. However, if you guys didn't see it, the end of it was like, obviously it was something like that. Angel Reese, heavy on the PS. Like, it does make it sound like, I mean this makes it sound like she is asking.
The relationship between Reese and her coaching staff has deteriorated to the point where even basic professional respect seems gone. Head coach Tyler Marsh, who inherited this mess, has been repeatedly put in awkward positions trying to manage a player who looks more invested in her brand than in winning basketball games. Reports claim Reese has been openly defiant during timeouts, with one viral clip showing her slapping a clipboard out of an assistant coach's hands in a critical moment. When the spotlight on your social media presence shines brighter than the respect you show the people trying to help you win, you've completely lost the plot.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her hand. Why do you guys hate Angel Reese so much? The Angel Reese hate is so forced. This is
even more damaging are the reports of fractures within the locker room. The signs have been piling up that Reese's own teammates have grown tired of the act. Multiple in-game moments show Sky players flat out refusing to feed her in the post, even letting shot clock violations happen rather than give her the ball. When veteran Elizabeth Williams publicly called out the team's turnover issues with Reese sitting right beside her, the message couldn't have been clearer. The locker room chemistry has gone toxic. Williams specifically emphasized the importance of valuing possessions, a not-so-subtle shot at Reese's league-leading 4.7 turnovers per game.
A second, but just think about what Cynthia Cooper just said. She can't celebrate Angel Reese's accomplishments on the court because They don't exist. She can't celebrate the Chicago bravado because they're arguably the worst team in the league. So WNBA media is trying to elevate Angel Reese and her dozens of aliases by complimenting her attitude? I don't give a shit about her attitude.
The pattern has become impossible to ignore. Just like in college, when she left Maryland for LSU the moment things got tough, Reese seems to be following the same playbook at the professional level. Critics have already crowned her the Queen of Quit, pointing to a mysterious back injury that conveniently surfaced right as Chicago's season went off the rails. She's missed critical games during the most important stretch of the year, with the organization unable or unwilling to provide any timeline for her return. When your franchise player is listed as day-to-day for weeks with an injury nobody can properly diagnose, it stops looking like medical necessity and starts looking like strategic absence. But here's where the story gets fascinating. What happens when Angel Reese actually tries to leave Chicago and discovers her market value isn't what she thinks it is. The harsh reality is that her modest rebounding and declining production aren't exactly setting the WNBA ablaze with trade demand. She's averaging 14.6 points and 12.6 rebounds, while shooting a dismal 44.4% from the field. Even worse, her turnover rate has nearly doubled, and the Sky actually perform better when she's off the court. Those aren't the numbers that spark bidding wars. They're the kind that make general managers think twice before even returning a call.
I have a take on Angel Reese that I'm sure will trigger a bunch of people.
Let's hear your take.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit.
Man, as much as I want to disagree with Jason, man, but I got to admit, I think you're right. And I want to disagree.
The reality check is going to be brutal for someone who spent 2 years believing her own hype. According to league insiders, Reese's trade value is tangled in several complications. Yes, she's an elite rebounder and a capable defender, but her offensive limitations are glaring, and she's still locked into a rookie contract for 3 more seasons. But the real obstacle isn't her deal. It's her attitude and the baggage that follows her. Smart organizations don't ship away valuable assets for players who quit when things get tough, especially when those players bring built-in drama and constant social media distractions. The uncomfortable truth is that Reese's individual stats have never translated to team success, and front offices pay close attention to those patterns. The Sky are 1-10 without her this season, but they're barely better with her on the floor. When your presence doesn't significantly move the needle in the win column, you're not a franchise player, you're a stat collector. And in a league where every roster spot matters and salary cap space is precious, nobody's lining up to trade for a player whose biggest skill is padding rebounding numbers off her own missed shots.
Angel Reese got a double-double, and the Chicago Sky, of course, celebrated said double-double. They lost 79-69. But my goodness, that didn't stop them, of course, from putting out this tweet right here. Player of the game. I mean, last time I checked, player of the games are usually for the winning squad, of which nobody on their team was part of. But they put this out, player of the game. And as you can imagine, people did point out that they lost said contest.
Consider the scenario. Angel Reese demands a trade, and the Sky actually grant it. Now what? Who's lining up to offer meaningful value for a player with a track record of bailing the moment adversity hits? Playoff contenders don't want locker room cancers, and rebuilding teams don't want expensive headaches. The market for difficult players is always small, but it's practically non-existent when those players don't actually make their teams better. Reese might soon discover her options are far more limited than she ever imagined. The most damning part of the saga is how clearly it exposes the flaws in Reese's approach to professional basketball. Instead of using Chicago's struggles as fuel to elevate her game and her leadership, she's taken the path of least resistance. Blame everyone else and look for an exit. Champions don't abandon ship when the waters get rough. They grab the wheel and steer through the storm. Reese, time and again, has shown that when adversity comes calling, her instinct isn't to fight, it's to flee.
Angel, just in terms of the league pace, you're in 11th in the table. The Mystics are ahead of you by 7 games. How much is the target to reel in Washington? What did the Mystics got to do with anything?
Thank you, everyone. Coach will be next.
The coaching carousel in Chicago has reached absurd levels, with the organization cycling through 4 head coaches in just 3 seasons. While some of this instability predates Reese's arrival, her inability to build positive relationships with coaching staffs has only added to the dysfunction. When Teresa Weatherspoon, the coach who specifically recruited Reese to Chicago, was fired, it should have been a wake-up call about organizational standards and expectations. Instead, Reese's emotional social media response suggested she took it personally rather than professionally, another sign of someone prioritizing relationships over results. General Manager Jeff Beglocka has been diplomatically brutal in his assessment of Reese's development, openly stating that the team needs more from her and that key aspects of her game still haven't materialized. When your own front office is publicly questioning your production and growth, it's a clear signal that patience is running thin. The Sky invested heavily in building around Reese, and the return on that investment has been disappointing at best. No franchise wants to admit it whiffed on a high draft pick, but sometimes the evidence becomes impossible to ignore.
And last year, when the Sky drafted Angel at number 7, they traded the swap rights to their 2026 first rounder to the Lynx in exchange for the number 7 pick. And then this past draft, they go back to the Minnesota Lynx and they get the number 11 pick from the Lynx in exchange for their 2026 pick outright. Now, this is insane, obviously, because the Minnesota Lynx were literally never going to draft Angel. I think that was pretty clear on that night, too. And then it's like, girl, did you think that you were going to be a better team than Connecticut, Jeff? Why did you think it was a wise idea to give away the swap rights and trade them?
The contrast with other young stars in the league is both stark and embarrassing. While players like Caitlin Clark continue to break records and elevate their teams despite facing equal or even greater adversity, Reese's response to challenges has been consistently poor. Clark has endured physical play, relentless media scrutiny, and enormous pressure while maintaining professionalism and a relentless focus on improvement. Reese, meanwhile, trademarks her flaws and engages in public feuds with teammates on social media. The difference in mentality and maturity is glaring. Perhaps the clearest indicator of Reese's situation is the deafening silence surrounding her potential availability. In a league where true franchise players rarely hit the market, any hint that one might be on the move usually triggers a wave of speculation and interest. Instead, the reaction has been muted. A quiet confirmation that around the WNBA, Reese isn't seen as the game-changing talent she believes herself to be. Smart executives know better. Trading for Reese doesn't just bring a player. It brings every bit of baggage that comes with her attitude and approach to the game.
You just never know. You just never know what's in players' minds, but this is what it seems like. That's the conclusion. That's the conclusion her own fans have jumped to that she wants out of Chicago. She said, P.S. Making decisions for yourself is a liberating feeling. And to be honest, it could be anything. It could literally just be her saying making decisions for yourself is a liberating feeling. It could have nothing to do with basketball. It could have to do with life. It could have to do with life. But it does. A lot of people are making the point that it sounds like she wants out of Chicago. And look, I wouldn't blame her.
The Sky's organizational response to Reese's apparent desire to leave has been just as revealing. Rather than bending over backward to appease her with dramatic roster moves or desperate concessions, they've stayed focused on developing the team they already have. That alone suggests they've quietly accepted the possibility that their supposed franchise player might not be the answer they once believed. When an organization starts planning beyond its cornerstone, it's almost always because they've realized a hard truth. That player was never capable of carrying a franchise in the first place.
You guys were down, plus Angel had the and-one opportunity. In that moment, was that a decision to have her miss, or just what was the thinking there in that scenario?
No, she asked if we wanted her to miss. I told her to make it. It would have only been a 1 or 2 point game. It'd been a 1 possession game anyway. So no, she just missed the free throw. It happens. So no.
She just missed the free throw. See that like y'all cannot just accept the fact the girl had a good game, 15 and 20, but when it mattered the most, she smoked it. She jagged it at the free throw line. It happens.
The ultimate irony in all of this is that Angel Reese might get exactly what she wants, only to discover it's not what she thought it would be. If she forces her way out of Chicago, she could easily land on a team with less media attention, fewer marketing opportunities, and far higher expectations for actual on-court production. The grass isn't always greener, especially when your current situation reflects your own limitations more than any external injustice. The WNBA is evolving rapidly. Front offices are more sophisticated than ever in evaluating a player's true impact on winning. And in this new environment, Angel Reese's brand of basketball, heavy on personal accolades, light on team results, is losing value, not gaining as the Sky continue their spiral toward the bottom of the standings. Reese now faces a defining crossroads. She can embrace the challenge of rebuilding a broken franchise, developing the leadership and professionalism required of a true cornerstone, or she can keep chasing easier situations, blaming everyone but herself when the wins don't follow. The choice she makes next won't just shape her immediate future. It will write the story of her entire professional legacy.